When World War II ended in 1945, the world took a deep breath. But peace was short-lived. A new kind of war had already begun, a war without battles, yet full of fear, spies, and the constant threat of nuclear destruction. The United States and the Soviet Union had fought together to defeat Nazi Germany, but beneath the handshake was tension. Deep ideological tension. America believed in capitalism and democracy. The Soviet Union believed in communism and authoritarian control. Two worldviews, two nuclear powers, one planet. After World War II, Europe was split. The US backed Western democracies. The USSR took over Eastern Europe, installing communist regimes. Winston Churchill called it the Iron Curtain. In 1947, the US promised to stop the spread of communism, supporting allies with money and military power. This was the Truman Doctrine. In 1948, the Soviets blocked off West Berlin. America responded with a massive airlift, dropping supplies for nearly a year. It was the first major clash of the Cold War. Both nations began building nuclear weapons fast. In 1949, the Soviet Union tested its first bomb. The US responded with a hydrogen bomb. So did the Soviets. By the 1960s, both countries had enough bombs to destroy the world several times over. This terrifying balance became known as mutually assured destruction. MAD. Americans built fallout shelters. Kids practiced hiding under desks. Everyone lived under the shadow of the mushroom cloud. In 1957, the Soviets launched Sputnik, the first satellite. The US panicked. It wasn't just about science, it was about superiority. President Kennedy promised America would reach the moon first. And in 1969, it did. The space race was won, but the Cold War wasn't over. Rather than fight each other directly, the US and USSR fought through others, so-called proxy wars. Korea was the first. North backed by the Soviets, South by the US. The war ended in stalemate and a divided nation. Vietnam followed. Decades of bloodshed, all in the name of stopping communism. Spies became heroes or traitors. The CIA and KGB were everywhere, planting agents, stealing secrets, shaping nations. In 1962, Soviet missiles were discovered in Cuba, just 90 miles from the US coast. The world froze. For 13 days, it seemed nuclear war was inevitable. But through tense negotiations, the missiles were removed. The Cuban Missile Crisis became the closest we ever came to total destruction. By the 1970s, the superpowers cooled down. This period was called détente. Treaties were signed. Tensions eased, but never disappeared. In the 1980s, President Reagan ramped things up again, calling the Soviet Union the evil empire. But inside the USSR, things were falling apart. In 1989, the Berlin Wall fell. In 1991, the Soviet Union dissolved. The Cold War ended, not with a bang, but a collapse. The Cold War shaped the modern world: borders, alliances, technology, and fears. Though the war is over, the weapons remain, and so do the lessons, a war without battles. But with global scars, this was the Cold War. Like and subscribe for more history, politics, and world events told the faceless way.